Hey traders, Mike Katz, 7 Points Capital, coming to you on Monday. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend and the markets had some serious volatility today. Really big range. Felt like some capitulation. And, my goal today was just be careful, don't get hurt, and try to make a couple of bucks. Worst case scenario, try to break even, but just don't get your butt kicked today. And I ended up having a decent day in swing. Did some covering in there, came in short a few names. We'll go over that real quick. So SPY, well, let's look at the daily real quick here. Yeah, we basically got down to this 255 level, which we bounced off of a couple of times back in February and March. We broke down this through this channel here, right? This sideways channel, 20-point range, 280 to 260. And we kind of, let me get rid of this, minimize that. We kind of basically tagged this support level, and it looks like we're bouncing into the close and some into the after hours. I don't know, we'll see what that turns into. But it was a wild day, and it was very easy to get frustrated. It was very easy to lose money. And as traders, we have to protect both our capital and our mental capital. And, during times like these, it's either, try to make a little, but just try not to get hurt. That's my motto. And it ended up being where a few singles and doubles ended up really adding up and being a decent day. In the day trading account, I think I was up a little bit, maybe 1 hour total. But in the swing account, I was up pretty well. So what worked? Let's see. I had... well, let's see, the SPYs, first of all. You'll see me looking at these bigger time frame charts a little bit more now as I try to do a little bit less of these 1 minute bars with noise. I'll probably still use it quite a bit for the low floaters, but my objective is going to be to kind of be aware of the bigger picture and know that this is a downtrend, know that, pops like this in a downtrend are probably just sell the bounce type of pops, which has been working. So that's kind of what I'm focused on. And the SPYs looks like we had really big volume here on the close in the last couple hours, and I'm wondering if that might be a capitulation bar. We shall see. But what was working for me was Square. That was one that I came in short. So it looked to me like, let's go out to a little bit longer time, more days here. Yeah, so it looked to me like we had the big downtrend in Square, and then we had a bounce, but we had one top here, you could say another top here, one more here and here at 66, somewhere around there. And when we bounced, we started curling down again, and I think it was right here I got involved here on the short side, and I did some covering into the morning, and then the reshort into resistance. We can see the low here, and all this area being overhead supply. The bounce into that gave me an opportunity to add back, and then some more covering into there. Let's see if we can see that here. Yep, so that's Square right there. We had that open, pretty sharp wash, and did some covering down there, reshorted into 61, and let's see, where's that 61? Basically, you could see somewhere around here, this area on the bounce. And I think I was a little bit early on reshorting and starting a short on some of these other names I'll go over. But just that's the kind of market we've been in, where it's definitely a lot of volatility, and the moves are pretty big. So what are some of the other names I was in? I closed out my Amazon short pre-market. You could see I didn't get this was the last piece I had in Amazon. This was the last piece I had. I covered it 1673, I think it was, or 1675, something like that. Over here, way too early on the last piece, but had a really nice gain on that. Good risk reward setup off here versus here. And then when this broke, moved my stop to this area, and I made it this far, I think this far for half, and then the rest this morning. So Amazon was good, and what else was in swing? Netflix was in swing. Let's see, Netflix. That seemed pretty good. We can see that basically the trend is down, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And I basically came in short. And I had covered some into, so I covered some into this 270 drop on Friday, covered half, something like that, reshorted into this pop to 275, 276. And then on Friday, I'd covered half again. And all this is in swing. Some of these ended up being day trades, but that was in swing, where I covered half again into 270. And then this morning, I didn't want to cover the other half. I just felt like there was more downside when we broke down. So I didn't do any covers this morning, you could see here. But when you got that bounce again into this consolidation area, this 271, 272, I put that short back on, the half that I covered here. And now I'm trading versus 278. And I did cover that back down now here, 265. And I have the other half still remaining. So that's that for swing. I think that's pretty much it. And then for day trade, I was focused on a couple of names. Facebook was one right there. So again, lower low, lower high, trend is down. Even though this has been a stronger name of late, it looked like it's put in the top because of this lower high, lower low. You guys could see that. So in the morning when we got that pop, I felt like this was a good risk reward here versus here. And then got that nice unwind afterwards, just trying to stay with the trend. And that was that, right? So I was a little bit early, definitely could have done a little bit better job at getting in, but with the sell the bounce type of trading that we've been having, I've been kind of a little bit early on the short side. So covered a piece down here, and then the rest right before the close, before that big bounce, 140-ish. So that was good. And then NVIDIA, same story. I was thinking that we had a downtrend, we had a lot of sideways, and then we had that morning flush to new lows right here. So I felt that any bounce to this area, I'd be looking to short. And I felt that this would be resistance here. And that's what I did. But again, it was a little bit too early. Right there. So I was a little bit too early here on this 145 entry. It went higher by quite a bit. So when it did come back, it couldn't make new lows like the rest of the market was making new lows, and most of the other stocks like Facebook we just looked at. Let's look at Facebook again. That one cracked below the morning lows pretty well. The Qs as a whole did that. The SPYs did that. So when NVIDIA couldn't do it, I basically ended up covering over here, just realizing that, hey, this feels like a stronger stock. I don't want to be short a name that can't, that has relative strength. So in NVIDIA, NVDA. Sorry guys, NVDA, that's not working. I don't know why. Well, looks like I lost the chart on this. Okay, square is working, and then NVDA. Okay, that works. So yeah, how do you make a whole lot on this trade here? Because I ended up being a little bit early, it went higher and reduced my conviction in the trade. And then when it felt like it had relative strength versus the market, I just got out of it. So I ended up being a small winner there. What else? J&J gave me a little bit of a hard time this morning. It couldn't make up its mind what it wants to do in the morning. So J&J ended up being green in it, but in the morning it was tough. I shorted some weakness, ended up being just a chase. I added a little bit more here before getting stopped out, probably avoidable there, and got stopped out. I figured this 130 level could be something worth trading against, and then looked here, like when I got stopped out and then it goes right back below 130, I felt, you know what, this could be one of those FU moves that just traps the long, stops out the shorts, and then goes lower. So, you know, I got right back in, and I just didn't do well. I got out. I got stopped out pretty much at the worst price, given another dollar or so, and got stopped out. Then I bought the dip to 130, thinking the short's not working. Maybe it wants to bounce off of 130. And I got a little piece off here, sold half, bought it back, and then got stopped out of the rest. And then just used that bounce to 130 again to get short. And that one ended up working okay. But you could see there was a lot of chop here, a lot of sideways, and that made it pretty difficult, a little frustrating. But eventually this short started working. This 130 level kind of held, and then did some covering. And I think here I was done with it. Yeah, so at this point I had half. I felt like this breakdown, I can get some more out of it, but keep a tight stop. Got stopped out of everything. And then I went long. They were talking about it in CNBC. It just sounded like it wasn't as bad as initially people thought. So I figured, let me try to get long. I sold a piece, bought it back, sold. I have a little bit long overnight. See if that wants to develop into a bigger trade. And I think that's that. Oh, BHC had a pretty quick trade on this one. I felt that this move, you know, it's also in the headline with J&J. Had a big pop, started making lower low again, lower high. So I got in short here, risking off of 81. Came actually pretty close. I think it came up to 75. Almost got stopped out here. I was pretty sure I was going to get stopped out, but it just started working. The market probably helped quite a bit. J&J helped. And then just ended up getting out here. Missed out on a little bit more here, but that was decent. And that's it. So let me see, did I miss anything? I think I went over quite a few names here. And that was my day. Really just trying to stay nimble. J&J was frustrating in the morning, but it ended up being okay. And swing was nice being able to come in and trade around a core, swing positions that were in the money from Friday, from Thursday. That was pretty helpful. And I did trim a lot of those. Oh, there's one thing I forgot to mention, UVXY. UVXY here. Got long, just felt, market still felt heavy. It wasn't letting the people who were long the market, long the spies, basically letting him off the hook. So I felt like there was another whoosh coming to the downside in the market. So I felt, you know, I said, let me get long some UVXY. I was holding at the 70 level, which was a big level on here, right there, 70. Let's see on the daily. Yeah, but you guys get the idea. 70 from the other day. That was a pretty big level. So I felt if it wants to hold at 70 and not be parabolic, then maybe there's more upside. But so I traded on the long side, risking off of, you know, this low here, 69, and I scaled out of that as it went higher. But then it just looked to me like the SPY was getting kind of parabolic to the downside. And when I saw that, like right here, I felt maybe it's a little overdone. We ended up going some more, but then bouncing hard. But I tried to short UVXY basically over here. I got out of long, got short, and I got stopped out here at 72, but I quickly tried it again and then added to it again. And at this point, I was just willing to kind of see. It felt like it was a parabolic move. I gave it a little bit more space than I would usually, but I just wanted to see if, the gut feeling just said that this is parabolic. It's a lot of volume coming in. Maybe there's some capitulation. I don't know. So I got some of this overnight on the short side, and we'll see if this gives me like a nice little pullback and kind of see how it behaves overnight. But that's it. I got a few shorts on, a few longs on, and not really looking to put on a whole lot of risk next few days. Just figure out which way things want to go. We have the Fed on Wednesday rather. I think the market's going to be looking to see what the Fed wants to do. You hear a lot of speak on TV about how this is going to be the most important meeting, and it'll tell us a lot. Well, let's see. Wednesday will be interesting, and hopefully it'll give us some action. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully everybody stayed safe today and is around, because I got to tell you, a lot of people are not doing too well in the market, and I'm sure a lot of traders are if not being put out of business, getting pretty big dents in their accounts. So stay safe. Thanks for watching. Mike Katz with 7 Points Capital with today's Trader Takeaways.